Well, everybody's always arguing, which is the best World War II fighter? Is it the P-38 or the Corsair, or is it the P-51? And I'm like, you know what? Let's just combine them all. You left a couple of Corsair fuselages, so they didn't get thrown away.
You hate throwing away anything.
That's
you
right.
You basically took parts that I thought were just garbage, and you're turning them into this beautiful, one-of-a-kind mashup.
These two Corsair fuselages have just been bugging me for months. I kept thinking, I've got to do something with those. I've got to do something with those. And so I started with 2 fuselages you made, and then we added the P-38 here in the middle, Corsair wings out on the sides, and the P-51, we got intakes.
So this may seem like a really over-the-top build, but one really cool thing with Flite Test that we love doing is trying to get people over those humps of frustration. We use simple, common, everyday materials. So John is working with right now is something we call foam board. A foam board is something you can buy at any dollar store, any craft store, and the specific stuff that you get there is Adam's Ready Board. Now we have our own version of this. It's actually waterproof, and we love to call it maker foam. A matter of fact, we're going to be coming out with lots of different versions of this and even different thicknesses that will enable you to build bigger, crazier, more wonderful projects. Our basic materials that we use is this foam board and a hot glue gun. Along with that, we use barbecue skewers, rubber bands, paint stirrers to give us strength and rigidity and support where we need it. Using these techniques, you'd be amazed at how many different things you can build, whether it's a battleship,
oh my gosh,
a flying pig, whoa, something ornamental. Along with that, we design about 1 plane a month, and that ranges everywhere from beginner entry levels, just simple chuck lighters, all the way to these amazing creations that John is making. We use simple, common techniques that carry through every single design. So once you get those techniques down, you don't have to worry about can you build it. You get to enjoy the excitement of creating something new. We do this in a couple different ways. We have free downloadable plans and also speed build kits that take the frustration of cutting out individual parts. We also accompany those with build videos that will take you step by step, whether you're scratch building or building a kit, from the very beginning where you're identifying your parts all the way up to the first maiden and tips and tricks on how to fly it. We love what happens when aviation enters into someone's life, whether it's the memories they make, whether it's the passion for education, or whether it's just building relationships, friends and family to do something great and have a fun time together. I had the best time working on the original Corsair with John, and it's just so cool that we can take those experiences and even the failures that I thought at that time, and John turned it into another memory where we're putting them together to make this crazy mashup.
All right, so John and Josh are inside working on these awesome Warbird mashups, and I wanted to come out here and tell you guys about our awesome sponsor for this video, and that is Pirates of the Caribbean Tides of War and Joy City. It's because of awesome sponsors like Pirates of the Caribbean that not only were we able to make this content for you guys to watch for free, but also all the other things that we have going on here at Flite Test, such as our STEM curriculum. We have our awesome events, we have all of our online resources such as free build videos, free build plans, and it's because of awesome sponsors and you guys out there that it's even possible. So if you're not familiar with Pirates of the Caribbean Tides of War, it is an app. It's a game that you can download on iOS or Android. You can even get it on your tablets, and it is a real-time strategy game back in the day of the pirates. So you're doing everything from building up your fleets, managing and maintaining your resources, and then when you get everything into place, you get to go out and battle with other players online, which is super cool. The cool thing about it is that it uses the lore from the movies that everybody knows and loves. So you see a lot of the iconic characters that make the movie so great in the game. Some of the typical gameplay you can expect in this game is defending your fleet and your riches from other players attacking you. You also do tons of adventuring. You can even unlock iconic ships. The best thing about all this is the game is free, and when you use the link down below to download it, not only are you going to be able to play this sweet game, but it's also helping us out a ton and everything that we're doing here at Flite Test. So thank you again to Pirates of the Caribbean, Tides of War, and Joy City. Again, it's because of you guys out there watching and awesome sponsors like them that all of this is possible. So thank you so much. Let's head back in and see how John's doing on the mashup.
One thing that's always a lot of fun is when people come by the shop and they take a look at whatever project I'm working on, and inevitably the first question is, do you think this is going to fly? Well, that's always the hope. Hopefully I add an adequate amount of power. Hopefully I get it balanced out correctly. But ultimately, it comes down to that moment when we're standing out in the middle of the field and we just decide, you know what? Here goes nothing. Now, one of two things generally happen, and it's epic either way. Either it flies up into the wild blue yonder, or it crashes and burns in epic fashion. It's no big deal when things crash and burn. My only regret is when it doesn't get recorded.
What John's describing here is exactly what we do on our FT STEM program. So the neat thing about FT STEM is it's not just for schools. This could be just as useful for homeschools, youth groups, outreach community members, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. And what you'll be doing there is when you build an airplane, you'll learn how to build, you'll learn how to fly, but you'll also learn how to do research, how to take parts off of an airplane, how to build new ones. And then you get to take it out right from the classroom, right out to the open. You get to fly it, crash it, learn from what you did, and then start the whole process over. You get to actually design planes, you get to mix and match parts, you get to learn what happens when you change a control surface or a wing or the center of gravity. Victory is not found when you fly a model and everything goes perfectly. Victory is found in the experimentation, the joy, the laughter, the crashes, and what you do with it to grow and learn.
If you do a lot of scratch building, you are going to end up with parts that aren't good. While they may not be particularly good for the model you're working on, they may work for a project like this. One thing that worked out really well when building this mashup is all the aircraft in real life are roughly the same size, and so the wings where they meet up with the fuselage are approximately the same. The vertical stabilizers are approximately the same size plane to plane, so that made fitting parts pretty easy for this build. Many times I'm trying to make a scale model, and so I get really hung up on making a canopy over and over and over again, trying to get exactly the right look. When you're making something like this, you don't have to worry. You just have to make sure everything fits together nicely.
If you're looking to make your airplane really stand out or just make it your own, you don't really need to get very complicated. Oftentimes a simple paint job and also cutting out some really unique pieces is you can go search out some really cool images on the internet like guns and turrets, print it out off your computer, trace it out on some scrap pieces of foam, give it a quick paint job, and you'll easily set your plane apart and make it look really cool. So it is amazing what can happen with just one day, lots of caffeine, and an amazingly talented family like the Overstreet family. John, what do you got in this thing?
We've done some upgrades. We've got a railgun up here, big drum magazine.
Quad superchargers.
Yeah.
You got a flux capacitor for time travel.
That's right. Minigun up on the front, and we've got a quick change drum, so it holds a whole lot of ammunition. We got a howitzer up here.
Yeah.
And here we got two 6-round magazines, so there's 12 rounds, one in the pipe. This thing is dangerous.
So here's a testimony that you guys can dream big, you can go artistic, and you still have a lot of fun. I love it. And by the way, if you're wondering, the P-38, the P-51, and also 2 different versions of the Jug are coming out in the very near future with flight test thanks to this guy. So you actually kind of took what was in the past and also what's in the future and smashed them together.
That's right.
And speaking of the future, every year we hold an amazing event called Flite Fest. This year's Flite Fest is going to be in Malvern, Ohio from July 11th through the 14th. Now, if you love seeing crazy matchups, build projects, or you want to get in the hobby in the most epic way possible, this is the place to go. You don't have to worry about knowing how to fly. We have big build tips where you can learn how to build, learn how to fly, and of course, learn how to crash and participate in all the amazing activities, plus meet some of the most incredible people that are super passionate about not only helping you, but also aviation. This needs to be maiden, but John didn't want to leave this alone. He actually surprised me. He knows that I love steampunk, so he actually brought a little present for me that I get to maiden while we're putting this up in the air with his son Jesse. So we're not just maidening one airplane today, we are maidening 2 airplanes today, and if I ever saw a cooler steampunk plane, I can't imagine where it would come from. This thing is beautiful. I was wondering why you're asking so many goofy questions like, what do you think of like pointy things? And show me some pictures. This is beyond awesome. We have the gas mask, we have a sight. We got gears that actually move in this thing. So we're not gonna just be made in one, we're gonna be made in 2 airplanes. I get to fly with your son Jesse now, right?
That's right.
Let's do it.
All right.
So by the way, if you guys haven't met it, this is Jesse. The cool thing about John and Jesse is the dad designs, the son flies. And that is awesome because now I get the opportunity to fly with this awesome gentleman and you get to maiden. What are you guys gonna call this yet?
We haven't named it yet.
We gotta, okay, by the end of this episode, we have to have names
Have
for
the
both
viewers
these.
name it in the comments.
There you go, name it in the comments, not Planey McPlaneface. What do you guys say we get them in the air? Johnny, want to do the launching here?
I can do it.
All right. All right, maiden of the thing. That isn't big, but it's beautiful. How's it fly?
Oh my gosh, it's turned.
It's a turd?
It's
Well,
windy.
let's see how this one does here. Keep her in the air. John, here, toss this one, man. Maiden number 2. I hope I do half as good as you. Watch your fingers there, John. There you go. Oh Oh my goodness. All right, forming up. So here's a cool thing. You can take different airplanes and mash them up. We've been doing it whenever we take on challenges. And the cool thing about it is you bring the characteristics of a certain wing, a certain tail surface into reality. And this feels just like the Corsair, but it tracks super stable from the double tails. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna form up with you, brother. All right, here we go. You ready to bring it down low? Okay. They fly beautiful.
It's like we'll not slow down.
You're not, yeah, one speed is that's fast, right?
Yeah.
All right, here, bring her in for a low pass. Wind's kicking up a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
I cannot believe how good these fly. This track's just like the normal Corsair. The only thing I definitely notice is my thrust is coming from the back, but it doesn't have any tracking issues. It's just a very like linear push. Instead of being pulled through the air, you can definitely tell it's like a flying wing, you know? Oh, it looks so beautiful. The cool thing about mashups is you don't know what it is. So Jesse, you're pretty much used to flying really sketchy contraptions your dad makes, right?
Yeah. This is probably the sketchiest.
Well, one thing's for sure, your battery lasts longer than mine. I gotta put her down.
Okay.
Let's see if we can bring this in one piece. Whoa! Your turn, buddy.
Okay.
The silhouette of that thing.
It's the one part I was concerned about. Landing.
You got this, man. Literally, whatever angle you look at, it's like, that's a P-38. No, that isn't. That's a Corsair. No, that isn't. That's a Mustang. You got this.
Plane and everything.
Beautiful. Oh, that's how it's done. That's awesome.
Nice.
So friends, here's the moral of the story. We are blessed with an awesome community that loves to inspire and loves to pay it forward. And if you want to get into flying yourself, we just released our newest plane, the FT Commuter. It's incredibly easy to build and also easy to fly. So check out these videos if you're interested. One thing I want to encourage you, that life lesson I learned, oftentimes something goes wrong, I get a wrinkle, I pitch it and I start over again. Don't do that. Take what John and Jesse have done, take those pieces, create something beautiful, go fly it and make a memory. Thank you so much for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.